Marie Anderson's world came crashing down on a chilly November morning. Clutching the eviction notice in her trembling hands, she read the cold, impersonal words over and over, hoping they would somehow change. A millionaire had bought the building, planning to demolish it to make way for a new mall. Her home, the only safe haven for her and her two young children, was to be destroyed. Marie was a single mother of two, 8-year-old Lily and 6-year-old Jack. Life had never been easy for her, but she managed to make ends meet through sheer determination and hard work. She worked 2 jobs, cleaning houses during the day and waiting tables at night. Their apartment, though modest, was filled with love and laughter. But now all of that was threatened. The notice stated they had just 30 days to vacate the premises. Panic set in as Marie wondered where they would go. She had no savings to fall back on and no family to turn to. The new landlord, Harold Crane, was a wealthy businessman known for his ruthless tactics. He had bought the building without a second thought for the people living there. To him, they were merely obstacles in the way of his latest project, a sprawling luxury mall that would bring him even more profit. Marie tried to negotiate with Crane, but he was unyielding. "It's just business," he said dismissively, his tone void of empathy. "You have a month to find somewhere else." Desperation fueled Marie's search for a new home. She scoured the city for affordable housing, but everything within her budget was either already taken or in terrible condition. Every rejection felt like another nail in the coffin of her hope. As the eviction date loomed closer, Marie's anxiety grew. She couldn't bear the thought of her children being homeless. She tried to keep up a brave front for Lily and Jack, but they sensed the tension and fear in her eyes. One night, after tucking the kids into bed, Marie sat at the kitchen table, her head in her hands. She felt utterly defeated. How could she protect her children when the world seemed so cruel and unfair? In a last-ditch effort, Marie reached out to local charities and social services, but the waiting lists were long, and immediate help was scarce. The reality of their situation hit her hard. They might actually end up on the streets. Marie's desperation began to show at her jobs. Her employers noticed her lack of focus and the tears she tried to hide. Mrs. Thompson, one of the homeowners she cleaned for, gently inquired about what was troubling her. With a heavy heart, Marie poured out her story. Mrs. Thompson was moved by Marie's plight and immediately started brainstorming ways to help. She spread the word among her friends and neighbors, rallying a small group of supporters who were determined to prevent Marie and her children from ending up on the streets. The community's response was heartwarming. Donations of money, food, and household items began to pour in. Mrs. Thompson even organized a fundraiser at her church, where Marie shared her story. The event raised enough money to cover a deposit on a new apartment. But finding a landlord willing to rent to a single mother with limited income was still a challenge. Marie faced discrimination and rejection at every turn. It seemed as though every step forward was met with another obstacle. One day, Marie received a call from a man named Robert Evans. He had heard about her situation from Mrs. Thompson and wanted to help. Robert owned a small apartment building and had a vacant unit that he was willing to rent at a reduced rate. When Marie visited the apartment, she was overwhelmed with relief. It wasn't luxurious, but it was clean, safe, and affordable. With the community's help, Marie and her children moved into their new home just days before the eviction deadline. The transition was tough, but the kindness and support they received gave them the strength to keep going. Lily and Jack adapted to their new surroundings, making friends at their new school and finding joy in the little things. Marie found a job nearby that allowed her to spend more time with her children, which made all the difference in the world. Life was beginning to stabilize for Marie and her children when a new wave of adversity struck. Harold Crane, furious that his plans had been delayed by Marie's resistance, began a campaign to tarnish her reputation. He spread false rumors about her being a troublemaker, which reached her new landlord, Robert Evans. Robert, a kind but cautious man, called Marie into his office one afternoon. "Marie, I've heard some disturbing things," he said, his brow furrowed with concern. "I've been told you're difficult to deal with and have caused problems in the past. Is there any truth to this?" Marie's heart sank. She knew exactly where these accusations were coming from. She explained the situation to Robert, detailing Harold Crane's ruthless eviction and his likely motivation for spreading lies. Robert listened intently, his expression softening as he understood the truth. "I believe you, Marie," he said finally, "but we need to be careful. People like Crane have a lot of power, and they don't play fair." Despite Robert's reassurances, the rumors began to affect Marie's life. Some of the new friends she had made started to distance themselves, influenced by the malicious gossip. At her job, co-workers whispered behind her back, and her shifts were cut without explanation. Marie felt the familiar weight of despair creeping back in. It seemed as though no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't escape the shadow of Harold Crane's influence. But giving up was not an option. She had 2 young children who depended on her, and she was determined to provide them with a stable, happy life. Determined to clear her name, Marie sought legal advice. She found a lawyer willing to take her case pro bono, and they began to gather evidence to prove the defamation. It was a slow, arduous process, filled with setbacks and frustrations, but Marie refused to back down. One evening, as she was reviewing documents at the kitchen table, Lily approached her with a worried expression. "Mom, why do people say bad things about you?" Marie pulled her daughter onto her lap and hugged her tightly. "Sometimes, people do mean things because they're unhappy or scared," she explained gently. "But we know the truth, and we have to stay strong." Her words were meant to reassure Lily, but they also served as a reminder to herself. The road to justice was long and fraught with challenges, but she was not alone. She had the support of her community, her children, and her own unwavering spirit. Marie's fight against Harold Crane was not an easy one. The legal battle dragged on for months, draining her emotionally and financially, but she refused to give up. Her lawyer, a passionate advocate for justice, worked tirelessly to gather evidence and build a solid case. Meanwhile, Marie continued to face hardships at work and in her community. Her hours at the restaurant were cut even further, and she struggled to pay bills. Despite these challenges, she remained steadfast in her determination to clear her name and secure a better future for her children. The turning point came when a former employee of Crane's, a young man named Tim, came forward with crucial information. Tim had witnessed Crane's unethical practices and was willing to testify against him. His testimony was a game changer, providing the evidence Marie needed to prove her case. With Tim's help, Marie's lawyer presented a compelling case in court. They demonstrated how Crane had spread false rumors to sabotage her reputation and the impact it had on her life. The judge, moved by Marie's resilience and the strength of the evidence, ruled in her favor. Harold Crane was ordered to pay damages for defamation and to issue a public apology. The victory was not just a personal triumph for Marie, but a powerful message to those who abused their power. Justice had prevailed, and Marie's name was cleared. The news of her victory spread quickly. The community that had once shunned her now rallied around her again, offering support and congratulations. Marie was overwhelmed with gratitude for the kindness and generosity that had helped her through the darkest times. With the damages awarded, Marie was able to pay off debts and secure a more stable financial future. She found a better job that allowed her to spend more time with her children, and their lives slowly began to improve. The scars of their past struggles remained, but they had emerged stronger and more resilient. Lily and Jack thrived in their new school, making friends and excelling in their studies. They were proud of their mother and the strength she had shown. Marie continued to be an active member of her community, using her experience to help others facing similar challenges. Marie's victory in court was a significant milestone, but life had more challenges in store. Despite clearing her name, some still viewed her with suspicion, influenced by the remnants of Crane's smear campaign. But Marie had learned to face adversity with unwavering strength. Determined to make a fresh start, Marie enrolled in a night school program to earn a degree in social work. She wanted to use her experiences to help others who found themselves in desperate situations. Balancing work, school, and parenting was exhausting, but Marie was driven by a sense of purpose. One evening, as she was studying for an exam, she received a call from Mrs. Thompson. The community had organized a surprise event in her honor, recognizing her courage and resilience. Marie was deeply touched by this gesture. It was a reminder that she was not alone in her journey. The event was a heartwarming celebration of Marie's strength and determination. Friends, neighbors, and even strangers who had been inspired by her story came together to show their support. Marie spoke about her journey, emphasizing the importance of community and resilience in the face of hardship. As she looked out at the crowd, she saw familiar faces filled with admiration and pride. Among them were Lily and Jack, beaming with joy. They had witnessed their mother's incredible journey and learned valuable lessons about perseverance and kindness. Marie's story was featured in local news, inspiring many who were facing their own struggles. She became a beacon of hope, proving that even in the darkest times, there is always a way forward. Her experience also highlighted the importance of standing up against injustice and the power of a supportive community. Years later, Marie graduated with her degree and started working as a social worker, helping families in need. She often drew on her own experiences to provide empathy and guidance. Her life was still challenging, but she faced each day with a sense of purpose and hope. Marie's journey was a testament to the human spirit's resilience. She had faced eviction, defamation, and countless obstacles, but she never gave up. Her story reminded us all that no matter how difficult life may seem, with determination and support, we can overcome any challenge. Thank you for joining us on Inspiring Corner. If Marie's story has touched your heart, please like and subscribe to our channel for more stories of resilience and hope. Together, we can spread inspiration and support those in need.